Okay, so a couple of videos ago, I talked about two prospects going into the 2026 draft. One being David Bailey from Texas Tech University. I love his game off the edge. And another was Keldrick Falk, and I wasn't really too sure. I wasn't too convinced on his game, and I brought you guys both their film, and I gave you guys my opinion. And I love doing that kind of video. So today we got two more players playing the same position, kind of like the same style, but they kind of don't, but you'll see. But anyways, man, we got two guys, two cornerbacks going into the 2026 draft. I love both these guys. I want to evaluate them and see why they're not being talked about highly, or should they be rated higher? You know, are they rated lower? Are they rated right where they need to be at? But all that being said, let's get straight into the video. But first things first, man, if you're new here, make sure you guys like the video, comment down your thoughts, if you like these players, if you don't like these players, or just comment down what you think I'm wrong on or right. And finally subscribe. We're on the way to 500 subs before the 2026 season starts. So but with that though, now let's get straight into the video. Now, as you can see by the title and by the thumbnail, we got two cornerbacks, one being Colton from Tennessee, and the other being Brandon Cisse. Hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly, but I'm just gonna call him Brandon. But anyways, man, we got two very identical builds, two very identical games, but there are some things that are a little bit different here and there, which we'll see. And first things first, we're gonna start with my favorite of the two, and probably my favorite corner in the entire drive, and that's Colton. Now, just for a little bit of background of Colton, he was a three-star cornerback in the class of 2023. He went to Auburn. He spent 1 year there. Then he transfers to Colorado for 1 year, and then he transfers to Tennessee. And in Tennessee, man, this dude was balling out, man. And I'm going to try and find the graphs that I've seen throughout the season, but like PFF was just highlighting this dude all year long, and they gave him like one big highlight grade at the end of the season, saying that, you know, he's going to be a great prospect, a great NFL player, and things like that, man. But when we turn on his tape, which we're going to do now, one of the best things that I love about his game is his recovery speed. Now, there's two things that you can't teach in sports. It's height and speed, and this dude has some really good recovery speed. Now, as you can see, he missed a couple jams here and there, and it's the fact that like he can recover, and not just recover, but still make a play on the ball. Now, he is a little handsy, and you know, sometimes when you get a little too handsy, yeah, you can get those penalty calls, you can get those holders, you can get those PI. But me personally, I love those physical corners, and again, the fact that he has that really good recovery speed, he can just make up for it if he misses a jam or in zone coverage. Like, he can make a play. This dude's speed is top notch. Now, when he does get a jam on you, bro, you are in prison. You are in hell when Colton gets his hands on you, bro. It is over, bro. There's been clips versus the Kentucky game, versus I forgot what Syracuse, and another game that I watched. Look, bro, he was over there clamping dudes up when he got his hands on you, and there was nowhere where these receivers could go. Like, they lacked creating separation, and again, he did get a little bit too handsy, and he probably got away with a few holding calls, a few PIs. But again, I love that in the corner where they're very physical. They're not trying to get too cute, but very physical. They're gonna get under your skin physically, and they're gonna make you work for every single play. Now, with him having good speed, with him being a really good jam corner, you know, really good press man corner, he can also play in the nickel. And being versatile in the NFL is very key. You know, guys will have long-lasting careers being a nickel, being a bound corner, moving to safety, aka Jalen Ramsey. No, I'm just playing, but look, man, he can play nickel. And versus Kentucky, we saw that all game long, where they just moved him at nickel, and all three things were displayed. A really good nickel back, really good jamming, and if he misses a jam, his recovery speed to make a play on the ball was phenomenal. However, there are some things that kind of makes him not the best corner prospect. Okay, now all three of those things can translate into the NFL, but there are some things to where he needs to work on, and one of them is just like he seems too cool for school. Like, he just seems too cool to tackle, you know, too cool to get his hands dirty. And he's capable of tackling. He's capable of, you know, getting physical in the run game. These kind of ties in together, but like him in the run defense, he's just like I'm not here for that. Like, I'm here to bat balls down. I'm here to jam the receiver. I'm not really here to play run defense. And again, he's capable, because as you can see in the film, he's very capable of, you know, tackling guys, making dudes stumble and things like that. It's just on a consistent basis, he's just not the best run defender, and he's not the best tackler. Like, his technique at times could be a little sluggish. Again, it can be too cool for school. I don't know if that's coachable. I don't know if that's just, his drive, and again, or maybe it's just, I don't want to be here on this play. I don't know. But overall, I do love Colton Hood. As y'all know, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not saying every guy that I like is going to be an Eagle, but I can definitely see day 2, probably very late day 1, depending on how his pre-draft and his combine and pro day goes. I do see him going late first, maybe early second, at the worst, mid-second. Now, going to our second guy, Brandon Cisse. Again, hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly. Y'all can correct me down in the comment section. But very similar to Mr. Colton Hood. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of South Carolina. He went to North Carolina State with the Wolf Pack. He spent 2 years there, and then he finally transfers to South Carolina University. And the first thing that I see on this dude's tape is very similar to Colton Hood, but in a very different way, is that he's physical, very physical. This dude right here, he is willing to get his hands dirty. He's willing to go blitz the quarterback. He's willing to go shoot the gap, to go get the running back. He is physical. He has that look, bro. I want the smoke. And look, if he goes to the right team culture, if he goes to the right team, he can either be the spark plug, or he can be somebody who just an added agitator. And I like that. I like that a whole lot, man. He's really big, he's really physical, and he uses that to his advantage to help his team out. And that is such a plus. I'm hoping that he can translate that into the NFL, which I'm sure he will. But man, when you watch him, bro, he is not afraid to get physical. And also with Colton Hood, with him being physical, he's a really good jam corner. Like, look, they both. Brandon may have it just a tad bit better, but like when he gets dudes in that jam, bro, they are in North Korea. They are in shackles. Okay, they are in prison. They are in max security. They are not going anywhere. And very similar, he can be a little bit too handsy, and he probably did get away with a bunch of PIs, a bunch of holds, which they will probably call it in the NFL. Now, just like Colton Hood, there are some flaws in Brandon's game, and they do tie in together. And it looks very bad when they are both showing at the exact same time. Now, one of them, he is a good jammer. Let me make that very clear. He is a very good jammer, but sometimes he doesn't jam with a purpose. He's not really jamming to knock the receiver off his route. He's just jamming just to get his hands on him. And added on top of that, he doesn't have really good ball skills sometimes. It's like the ball is in the air, he's not looking for the ball, he's still looking for the receiver, and the receiver is showing him, look, I'm about to go for the ball, and he is just standing there, or he's still trying to jam his way into the receiver. And versus Clemson, like, dude was getting torched at times. Versus Virginia Tech, he got beat a few times, but that's normal. Guys will be beat, obviously, especially at the next level when you're playing high tier athletes. But it just like he just looks lost out there when he's jamming or when the ball's in the air. But those things are fixable. Those things are coachable. Those things aren't just the end all be all. So I'm hoping that in the NFL he gets a chance to develop those skills a lot better, sharpen them. A team is patient with him in those areas. But besides that, like, again, he is a really good corner. The dude, look, point of attack, look, he see ball, he gonna get ball. Okay, he's gonna jam you, jam, and at times he will blow your head off if you go down that middle or if you run towards his way. But overall, I do like Brandon. Hopefully, again, I'm not gonna say his last name. I do like him a lot. I do see him being a day 2 pick, at the worst day 3. But I do see both of these guys day 2. Colton Hood's a little bit better than Brandon. I do see Colton going to the first round, Brandon going to the second round. But overall, man, I can't wait to see these guys in the NFL. I'm going to be tracking these dudes their entire careers. Cornerback is my favorite position. Jalen Ramsey, Champ Bailey, Nnamdi Asomugha, Ray Buchanan. These dudes are in my top 10 players of all time. That's how much I love cornerback, the position. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, man. And we are out. Peace.